Hi, I'm Dave Epstein, and welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. We're inside a greenhouse at Barry's Greenhouse in Natick, Massachusetts, and look at all the Amaryllis behind me. We are getting ready for the holiday season, and perhaps you're going to get one of these as a gift, or you're giving one, and they are very easy to grow. This is one of my favorite things to grow during the winter. You can grow them for the holidays, after the holidays. You can even get them to bloom during the summer. So if you are choosing a bulb to give to somebody and you have the opportunity to actually physically pick up the bulb, here's a couple of things you want to think about. One is bigger bulbs tend to give you bigger flowers. So you want to look at the size of the bulbs. You also never want to get a bulb that feels soft. So you really want to give it a squeeze. If there's any give to the bulb, if it doesn't feel nice and firm, don't get it because it's probably beginning to rot. Also, check it out. Be sure there's no mold or anything growing on the bulb. That's real important. Once you get it home, I think the best way to grow these is inside a little bit of soil. And you can see here in this greenhouse how they're growing them. They actually have them in a pot, but the soil does not cover the bulb. That's real important. You can also grow them in stone with a little bit of water underneath. So again, no matter how you grow them, no matter what medium you use, do not cover the bulb. So what you'll notice with the Amaryllis is it will shoot up a stalk, and then at the top of the stalk it will get the flower. After it flowers, it tends to get a lot of leaves. Some varieties of Amaryllis will shoot up the leaves with the stalk, others will shoot up the leaves before the flower, but most of them, you get the flower, then the leaves. The best place to grow them is in a bright, cool spot. They do not want a lot of heat. If you put them where it's too warm, they'll tend to force themselves too quickly and the flowers will not last nearly as long. When you first get or plant your Amaryllis, give it a very tiny bit of water. You want to kind of wake up the bulb. You do not want the bulb sitting in water before the roots start to grow. So notice I have these two bulbs here, and see the roots, they're really not viable yet. Over time, they're going to put out some nice new roots, and once that starts to happen, then the bulb and the plant will begin to use the water. If you water them too much before the roots are established, the bulb will rot. So I grabbed one little Amaryllis here. This is called Vera, and it's a light pink. And that's the great thing about these. There's so many different colors. Here, just in this greenhouse, we have some that are dark red, some that are light red, some that are orange. All of these will bloom over the next few weeks. Some of you have asked, how do I get the flower to bloom again the following year? It's not the easiest thing in the world to get an Amaryllis to rebloom, but with a little bit of care, you can do it. So while these are flowering, keep them in a cool, bright spot, but don't put them in normal houseplant light. When they're done flowering, then move it into normal light, keep it away from a draft, and really treat it as an indoor houseplant for the course of the winter. Around late May or June, whenever your area has its last frost, put the pot outside and continue to grow it outside. The bulb tends to like to be what's called pot bound. At the end of the summer, bring them back inside. Put them down in the basement, and now we're going to try to get them to be dormant once again. They need a period where, for about 6 to 8 weeks, they're in temperatures of about 50 to 55 degrees. That's going to help the plant to shut down and store all those nutrients in the bulb. After that time, take the plant, shake off the soil, cut the roots flush, and then you can start the whole process all over again. If you end up with a bulb that just produces leaves, it probably didn't charge itself enough, so try the process again for a couple of years. Eventually, you'll probably get some flowers. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.